And welcome back to the conversation. I'm Nubu Ratto. Conversation. We talk about different events going on in the city of Brockton. You know, we had a fantastic summer. We had a chance to go to the Henry Thunderman Football Clinic, and also we had a chance to go to basketball clinic held by Derek Williams and the whole team over there. But recently, last few weeks, we had a chance to talk to some local politicians who are running for office and doing great things in the community. And this time we have a friend of mine. We go way back since 7-8 years ago. Jean Bradley Derenoncourt. I think before we get started, I think your story, let's just put politics aside, your story is a miracle. Your story is inspiring, and it's something that people should really look up to and really aspire to be at. You know, where you, I'm going to let you tell your story, but where you came from in terms of, you know, the earthquake in Haiti and coming here and running for mayor. I mean, if that's not the American dream, I don't know what is. So I just want to welcome you to come on to the podcast, Jean Bradley Derenoncourt.
Hey, Nubi, my friend, my advisor and all of that. So I just want to thank you, bro, for taking the time to invite me to your show. And personally, congratulations on your awards. I think you and your team deserve it. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Jean Bradley Derenoncourt. As we speak, Brockton City Council at large, running for mayor. So it is always an honor, why not a privilege, to be at your presence. So I think it's going to be a great show. And any questions, as you know, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Well, first and foremost, you got on to the political scene really for a while. I know you did some work for Mike Brady, and you're now current city council at large, first Haitian elected official in the state. So
Haitian American male.
Haitian American male. I apologize. Haitian American male in the state. So first and foremost, for people who don't know you though, who's Jean Bradley?
Well, good question. Jean Bradley Derenoncourt was born in Haiti. Well, some people call me Gene, some people call me Bradley, and some people call me the guy with the long last name. So, hey, we're going to go with that one. So, I was born in Haiti in 1990. As we speak, I am 29 years old, and I came to the United States, specifically Brockton, Massachusetts, in 2010 after facing the devastating earthquake in Haiti. Unfortunately, day one I came to the city, Brockton opened the door for me, and that's one of the reasons. I've been fighting day in and day out to making sure that every children in Massachusetts, if not every children in Brockton, can have the same access that I have in regard to education, and of course find people that around me that advise you, help you out. Because to be honest with you, Nobi, you asked me who am I. I think who I am as a person is truly based on the people around me, because without the impact, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. What I mean by this is that, so as a kid who just came from Haiti, as you know, 8 years ago, not knowing the language, learned English, went to college, got my first job in America at Crystal's restaurant as a busboy. And I say this all the time, working at Crystal's restaurant was one of the best jobs that I could possibly have, because that job, by cleaning tables and cleaning dishes, allowed me to not only find myself but also build a connection to some people that I didn't know. And although I couldn't speak English at that time, but I was able to connect through a smiles and handshake and stuff like that. So with that being said, we went to college, like I stated, got an education, got involved in politics. My first political involvement outside of my school was working for Linda Balzodi at City Hall when she was the mayor. From there, I worked for Governor Patry, also Raise Up Massachusetts. And after I graduated from college, I got a job at the State House in Boston, worked for State Rep Brady at that time as a legislative aide, and move on to the Senate as his Director of Constituent Services. So I think that path somewhat, allow me not only to sit through them, but also to build the foundation that we are building now. And as you know, I became a U.S. citizen in 2016, and in 2017 I ran for office, and fortunately, by the blessing of people of Brockton, they gave me this opportunity to serve them. And as we speak, this is one of the most amazing experience in regard to politics that I've been having, because it's not an easy job, but I do have the commitment and the willingness to do as much as I can possibly do to making sure that every single child in Brockton receive the best higher education, public safety. We should focus on community policing to making sure that there's a connection between law enforcement and the resident, and youth empowerment. Find a way in which we can actually bring the young folks together and making sure that they are out of trouble. As you know, there's an age group from 11 to 26. This bracket, this is when most young people get in trouble. So, before I decided to run for mayor, I told my family and my team that we need to come up with a platform that represents everybody: education, public safety, youth empowerment, seniors, making sure that they are safe, homelessness, as you know. I mean, if you drive Main Street, it's kind of like.
So I'm gonna cut you off a bit. 'Cause I want to talk about some of those issues. So let's back it up. Why did you decide to run for mayor?
One of my number one reasons is the fact that for so long the city of Brockton has been, on the map as a bad place to be. And with that being said, public safety has been very concerning in regard to most people who don't even live in the city. And of course, some of those people that live in there. But in fact, recently I was knocking on doors. I believe it was Ward 4, and I met, a senior citizen. She's 85, and she said that she will not go downtown because she feels like somebody would hurt her. And I understand that, you cannot live in a society and feel like that. And I think that the city of Brockton, especially the government, hasn't done what they're supposed to do. The folks at City Hall, so to speak. I think it's important for people that work at City Hall being able to not only see what's going on, but being able to comprehend and come up with the best platform that will represent everybody. And then when I take a look at what's going on with regard to the administration, as you know, I wasn't satisfied with the work they are doing, and I believe as we speak I am the person that can actually represent everybody, because I don't care where you come from, what you believe in, who you love, as long as you are a citizen of Brockton. Somebody Derenoncourt will represent you. And that's one of the reasons I said we gotta be able to invest in quality education. About a year ago, I asked the former administration to put more money into our school system. He didn't. And if you really want to know what's going on in the school system, don't talk to me, talk to the teachers, because they will tell you sometimes they have to use their own money to buy schools accessories so that children can actually get stuff to do homework and stuff like that. And of course, class size, you got 32, 31, 29 students in one class. I mean, think about that. So it's very complex, and I think that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts should and must do a better job in regard to put more money into Chapter 70, Chapter 90, so our children can receive the best quality education. And public safety, as we speak, has been an issue in Brockton. If somebody doesn't see it, I'm assuming that you don't live in this city. The Brockton Police Department has been doing a wonderful job with the little that they have, but I strongly believe that with a little bit more resources and making sure that that resource goes to the place that it should, we will be able to have one of the best police force in Massachusetts. And I think under my administration, I do have the knowledge, the connection, and the ability to make it happen, because community policing is key.
Let me ask you a question. We have a lot of good candidates running who are working really hard. It's funny, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, this is really one of the first times that there's a really, the amount of work that put on to individual campaigns, it's incredible. I mean, there's a lot of strong candidates, but what separates you from the rest?
It's like, I think that what makes us unique, it's not me, what makes us unique is the platform that we bring on the table. It's a platform of inclusive rather than exclusive, because the way we see it is that, when you talk about education, quality education, of course everybody will talk about education, but the difference is our approach, how we come up with our analysis to draw this conclusion. So when we talk about education, when we talk about community policing, when we talk about empowering our young people, when we talk about helping the seniors, when we talk about trying to find a way to help the homeless people, when we talk about not raising people taxes, because we believe that if we bring small business, they will be able to generate revenue, so we can take that money and put it into our school system. When you talk about turning Main Street into two ways, when I talk about making sure that we have nightlife downtown. As you know, Nubi, you've been in this city for so long. So after 5 or 6 o'clock, downtown Brockton is dead. Under my administration, you will have a prosperous downtown where people can go down there and enjoy their life, and making sure that they do what they're supposed to do. Because you know what? As we speak, we have something called POVA. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, you can see people going down there. So the people in our city, they are looking for places to be. And I think that unless we have the courage to know that what's good and what's not good, the city will never move on. And I think what makes me different is that I am bold, I'm progressive, I am determined, and I don't mind standing on my own, making the tough decision, as long as I know the people of Brockton will be satisfied. And also, I speak multiple languages. I am able to connect, to adapt, to empathize with the entire group of people.
Let me ask you 2 more questions. I know we're running a little short on time, but Do you think race plays a part in this election?
Oh no, I do not. I do not. I mean, I strongly do not believe it. But there's a lot of issues out there, as you know. I mean, as we speak, I'm glad you mentioned that. Some people are saying that, I want to turn Brockton into a sanctuary city. That's not true. That's a false statement. They are using
clarify
it as,
that.
Well,
us.
I mean, first of all, that sanctuary city thing, it's absolutely nonsense, if not blatant lie. And I think the former administration, especially one of the person who is running for office as we speak, wants to capitalize on it because he knows that I has a lot of people who likes me in the city and people that see what I'm doing. So the only way they can actually bashing me is by come up with something that is not true. So what we did, as you recall recently, the Brockton United came before us with an ordinance which was supported by the former administration in 2013, 2015, 2017. The only thing we did different was the fact that we redrafted and we got to making it more opening, more welcoming, and making sure that there was no violation about anything. So what we do, we said that given the fact that we have so many people, especially women in the city, who are facing domestic violence, abuse, and all kind of stuff, we said we gotta be able to come up with at least a piece of legislation that will allow these people to understand that if somebody is abusing you, you can pick up the phone, call 911, giving the Trump administration, because there's a saying in Massachusetts, if you see something, say something. You and I know that most people, as we speak, even U.S. citizens, do not feel like they should call the police to report anything because they don't want anybody to come after them. So we said, matter of fact, the council president at that time, now Mayor Moses Rodriguez, and myself said that, well, we will be more than happy to help you guys come up with that thing to file it. Moses filed that ordinance. I co-sponsor it. But March 28, if you recall, when the former administration was giving his State of the Cities address, which was a moment to unite people, he threw me under the bus, stated that I want to turn Brockton into a sanctuary city. I really want to put that to rest. That's not true. It is a lie. It is fear-mongering. Some people are using it to capitalize. And I hope the resident of Brockton will be able to see through their lies in regard to trying to be on power for no reason whatsoever to capitalize on their own things. But here's what I can tell you is that as we speak, we are at a crossroad where we have to take a decision in regard to what's going to happen in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years, and in the next 10 years in Brockton. And I believe that I am the guy who has the capacity, the ability, and the boldness to make that decision. Because you know why? I cannot be bought, and I will never be bought. Because I strongly believe I am here to help the people, because 8 years ago when I came in this country, the people helped me. So I will never and ever betray the city of Brockton, regardless what happened. So I am fortunate to be able to live in the city, and it would be more painful than pleasant to see myself at a place where all I have to do is turning this place into a bad place. I will be the first one to take the silver bullet to protect Brockton. I'll be the first one to making sure that our children, our seniors, our streets are all in good condition in regard to having a decent life. So if people talking about a great life in Brockton, under my administration, I would like people to talk about a great life in Brockton. Instead of talking about nonsense, instead of talking about like stuff that's not true, let's making sure that we have enough money to send every children in the city to school. Let's talk about having enough money to put more cops on the street. Let's talk about building community policing. Let's talk about building a Brockton where people can feel comfortable and being able to enjoy their time, especially our seniors. So as we speak, I know that the selection was not going to be easy, and it will never be easy. But as the target, I know I stand on the side of justice, on the side of positivity, and on the side of the people, because I'm here to represent them, with them, and together I strongly believe that's the only way we will make it. I don't care where I was born, I don't care what I'm doing somewhere else, but I am a citizen of America, and Brockton is my home, and I will do everything that I could possibly do to keep my home clean.
Lastly, when's the primary? What's the date for the primary election?
Well, the preliminary election is September 17th. And on that note, I humbly ask you, especially you who are listening to that podcast, please go out there September 17th. Vote for Derenoncourt. And if you forget my name, vote for the longest name that you will see on the ballot, because I am your voice. I am the guy that can represent you. And that's why I come up with that slogan, believe in Brockton. I want people to believe in Brockton, because now is the moment to change the stereotype, to change the perception, and making sure that when you tell somebody that you live in Brockton, they will be able to know that you live in a great place, a decent place where people live as decent citizens. So together, join me on this journey. Let's believe in Brockton together by once again voting for Jean-Bradley Derenoncourt, September 17.
You listen to The Conversation. I'm Nubrad Toe, joined with Jean-Brad Derenoncourt, candidate for mayor of the city of Brockton. Let's definitely have some plenty of different guests throughout the next few weeks. So please continue to listen into the podcast, The Conversation. I'm Nubrad Toe. Godspeed.